A very long time ago, in a rural community somewhere far in eastern Nigeria, it was customary for every man from the ages of 27 to 30 to pick a bride, and failure to do this within this time frame resulted in banishment from the land. Kelechi, a humble, plain-looking fisherman with a cleft upper lip deformity, had just recently turned 29 and was finding it difficult to get a woman to marry him because he was poor, wretched, and deformed. But despite all this, Kelechi was good at one thing. He was a skilled fisherman who was one with the waters. Even on days when other fishermen had trouble getting a good catch, Kelechi would always return home with a net full of fishes. However, despite his bountiful catch, people barely wanted to buy from him. Neither did they want to be found associated with him. So at the end of every market day, Kelechi would eventually sell his goods for less than their value just to survive. Every Friday night at about 7 p.m. in Oponu village, the unmarried men and women would gather at the village square for a night of socialization. The sounds of drums playing would fill the evening air, and the melodious voices of the fair maidens would accompany the drums in melodious harmony. The aroma of palm wine, roasted grass cutter, and seasoned fish would fill the open air, while the village jester, Tobe, would make jokes and send the villagers into a laughing spree. One thing the people of Oponu village was significantly known for was their looks. Every man was exceptionally handsome, and their women extremely beautiful, thus making Kelechi the odd one out. Rumor had it that Kelechi's mother, Ngozi, who died during childbirth, was impregnated by an evil spirit, which resulted in Kelechi's look and deformity. And because no one knew who Kelechi's father was, the rumor sounded believable. One day, Kelechi went fishing. In solitude under the glistening sky, he heard a faint cry from afar. It was the voice of a woman in pain. Kelechi tailed the voice in order to be of helping hand. When he got there, he saw a mermaid trapped and hot. Kelechi, in all his years of experience as a fisherman, had never encountered anything like this. Although he had heard tales of the existence of mer people when he was a young boy, and how they coexisted with humans, but those were said to be mere folk tales. "Help me, please, I'm trapped," said the mermaid. Kelechi dove into the water. He could not believe what he was seeing. She was beautiful, with bright eyes and long coily hair. "No one would believe me if I told them," he thought to himself. He quickly set her long tail free from the trap. She thanked him, but Kelechi was too stunned to reply. "How can I ever repay your kindness? Tell me what you want, tell me what you desire, and I will grant your wish." All his life, all he had ever wanted was to be loved and accepted. "I want to be loved by my people," Kelechi said with sadness. "I will grant you this and more. You will be loved and respected, and you will be the best fisherman. You will control the rivers and its resources, and without you, no fisherman will get any catch." As Kelechi rowed his boat back to the village, a school of beautiful fish swam in a distance behind him, escorting him to shore. Kelechi was still in a state of disbelief. No one would believe his encounter. He was so stunned and deep in his thoughts that he didn't notice the admiration from the maidens on his way home. He had suddenly become attractive. The next days were filled with bliss for Kelechi. He suddenly was the most sought-after bachelor, and all the maidens wanted him. Even the king's daughter, Princess Adana, wasn't left out. The maidens took turn in bringing him dinner in a bid to win his heart. But while his name spread in admiration amongst the women, the young men of the village grew jealous of his new fame and status. When the fisherman went fishing, they would toil day and night with no fish. But whenever Kelechi went fishing, he would always bring home a bountiful catch. Soon, he became the sole distributor of fish produce in the village. And to further infuriate the men, whenever they had their evening of socialization, all the maidens would gravitate towards Kelechi for a taste of his affection. One day, some angry men from the village gathered together in secret to discuss the recent happenings. They decided to seek the face of the Dibia. On getting to the Dibia, they reported the situation of how Kelechi now controls the river resources and no other fisherman could make any catch. The Dibia went into his inner chambers to consult the gods of the land. He returned shaking his head and revealed to the village men that Kelechi had tampered with the balance of the village and that he had made a deal with an evil spirit. "He must be killed," shouted one of the men. Soon, the news had spread quickly amongst the villagers. The angry youths took upon themselves weapons, stones, and raffia canes, marching in the direction of Kelechi's home. Tilbay, the village jester, who saw how angry the men were, rushed to Kelechi's home to inform him of the looming danger. Kelechi quickly fled for his life, and he tried leaving the village, but every exit had been blocked. As he tried to hide in a cave, he was discovered by the angry men who chased after him with weapons and stones. Kelechi had nowhere else to run to, so he ran in the direction of the river. And by the time he got to the bank of the river, he was badly hurt, as some of the stones thrown at him had bruised his body severely. He started to swim, but was too weak, and soon he passed out. By the time Kelechi woke up, he saw himself in a palace under the water. It was the most magnificent place he had ever seen. Under the water, in the palace of the mer people, he sat up quickly as he tried to swim to the surface of the water to get air. But he was surprised he was breathing fine. He checked his body and all his injuries were gone. But the greatest surprise awaits him. He almost jumped out of his skin when he noticed he now had tails for legs. The mermaid and her people came to him with love in their eyes, and then all the mer people, but the princess and the king, bowed to him. The king of the mer people sat on his throne and invited him to sit at his right-hand side. Kelechi was dumbfounded. Was this real or was he dreaming? He gave himself a slap on his face and realized he was wide awake. And then the king spoke in a loud voice that echoed through the waters. "My beloved son has found his way back home." The king went on to tell the story of how he was enchanted by the beauty of his mother, Ngozi, whom he saw bathing by the river bank 30 years ago. He had come to land and befriended her, and Kelechi was the product of their love. But when he realized Ngozi had died during childbirth, he used the tip of his trident to mark Kelechi in his face. He had blamed the child for the death of his beloved. 7 days later, Kelechi was crowned the lost prince in an elaborate party under the water. His sister beamed with joy at the return of her long-lost brother, and Kelechi now finally found a place where he was loved and respected. But deep within him, he now seeks for vengeance against the people of Oponu village, and one day he swore to return.